冇地方去啦，因為依度順德大良市開咗間李小龍嘅紀念館喎。阿多，
咁多人仔一堂雲集喺順德大良市，目的係出席紀念館開幕儀式。順德係李小龍嘅故鄉，為咗紀念佢，特別起咗一座紀念館。呢個館投資近100萬元人民幣，場館共分2層，地下全層就擺放咗好多李小龍生前嘅童年照、劇照、書籍，而樓上就提供咗一個地方俾李小龍迷可以坐埋一齊，交換一下對偶像嘅啲意見。仲係，哇！你扮得一啲都唔似喎，睇清楚先學啦。咦，副啤牌好特別噃。
呢副啤牌咧係1965年李小龍喺美國拍《青蜂俠》嗰陣時嘅劇照嚟嘅，佢亦都係憑呢套電視劇揚名海外㗎。呢個裝咧係李小龍親自設計嘅，係專門愛嚟練手臂同埋手指嘅力㗎。
呢一個係全國第一個李小龍紀念館，興建嘅時候亦遇過好多棘手問題。
呢個困難好大嘅，因為最緊要就係我哋由於喺李小龍本身整個生活同埋生長時間都喺大部分時間喺香港同美國啦，變咗佢嘅大陸上得到李小龍嘅資料就係唔係好多，變咗我哋做起上嚟就唔係咁得心應手。
黃生仲話全靠李小龍嘅家人、師兄弟同埋朋友提供資料，紀念館先至可以完成。而建館費用就係市政府同埋社會人士捐贈。另外，全場最大特色就係公開咗中國已故國家領導人毛澤東對李小龍嘅評價。佢大讚佢武功好，表演十分精彩，為中國人爭光。另外，專程由美國翻嚟嘅李小龍家姐喺為銅像揭幕時一時感觸，流下眼淚。
個佈置咧有冇李小龍個風格喺度咁樣啊？
都有啲係李小龍個風格啦，但係李小龍風格嘅佢就好簡單嘅啫，同埋佢人咧睇嚟咧就好似好冷咁樣，但係你傾起上嚟咧佢好熱情嘅。佢細個嗰陣時咧都時時同我哋一齊玩㗎，佢由好細個咧就中意練拳㗎啦。咁佢本來咧佢成日都教我哋幾姊妹去玩拳嘅，但係我哋又唔中意啦。咁後嚟成日都將我哋當係一個生嘅冇人裝咁，打到我哋呢啲打到我啲手腳都黑晒，咁我哋唔中意啦。
李小龍家姐仲話希望可以借住李小龍館嘅建立，繼續發揚李小龍嘅武學精神，遍佈世界每一個角落。咦，鐘熙都馬上受到感染，嚟一招李三腳喎，學多幾年啦，雞手鴨腳。最近咧有冇發覺咧的士行
All kung fu movie stars was the very serious Bruce Lee. As a young stuntman, Jackie appeared in Lee's most famous films.
He was in Enter the Dragon, as a matter of fact, very famous moment where Bruce Lee breaks one of the guy's necks in the underground sequence. That's Jackie.
When Bruce Lee died suddenly in 1973, the Hong Kong movie industry was devastated. Every studio tried to find a replacement.
They make dozens of movies with guys like Bruce Lee and Bruce Lee. It's tantamount here as if Clint Eastwood was to die, if someone was to create Dirty Larry movies with Clint Westwood. That's the same sort of thing they did in Hong Kong with Bruce Lee.
Jackie played
powerful people who pack quite a punch and carry on the legacy of Kung Fu legend Bruce Lee, right here in the Bay Area. We'll flock to the...
Gotta go here, get back here.
In studios and in basements here in the Bay Area, authentic Kung Fu is being taught as it has for centuries.
If you train Wing Chun system Kung Fu, you will become the strongest person in the world. I tell you.
Originated thousands of years ago, Kung Fu is one of the oldest forms of hand-to-hand combat. For generations, it was shrouded in secrecy in China, known only to Kung Fu masters and their students. But one masterful martial artist changed all that, bringing the ancient art of Kung Fu out of the Far East for the world to see. His name was Bruce Lee.
He could be 6 to 7 feet from you and get you before you knew what happened.
So in other words, you could be like, I could be standing over here and just kind of standing around. What would happen?
He would just come in like a fencer.
Although Bruce passed away in 1972, his influence on the martial arts world is still undeniable. And some of those who trained alongside him continue to pass along his memory and the art of Kung Fu right here in the Bay Area.
Well, here at the busy intersection of Grant and Bush in San Francisco is the famous gate to Chinatown. And I didn't realize until doing this story that Bruce Lee was actually born here in Chinatown in 1940. Well, he actually grew up in Hong Kong, but his real name was Jun Fan Lee, which translates into Return to San Francisco, which he did as an adult, and his legacy here lives on. Holy moly.
Chris Chan is a Kung Fu master who learned his moves, along with Bruce Lee, as a boy in Hong Kong.
And that's where Bruce Lee and I, when we were a little kid, we were practicing.
Practicing on rooftops in Hong Kong.
Same place.
Chris and Bruce studied martial arts together in the 1950s with a Chinese master named Yip Man, before bringing the art of Kung Fu with them to the Bay Area. Before Bruce moved to LA and became a famous film star, Bruce and Chris opened their own Kung Fu schools right here. 40 years later, Chris is still teaching students in San Francisco a Kung Fu technique called Wing Chun in his Sunset District studio.
And also, like this.
Yikes. How do you feel?
Wing Chun is a powerful martial art form that uses direct and quick kicks, blocks, and punches to defeat an opponent.
I don't care even the most powerful man in the world. Their mind is stronger.
Chris teaches his students to find their opponent's weak points on an ancient chart. Then they practice their Kung Fu combinations on wooden dummies. But the most powerful part of Wing Chun is a technique called Siu Nim Tao, a way of focusing the mind and tensing the body to improve circulation and internal strength.
We're going to squeeze you.
Not yet. No, don't waste your energy yet. That I'm cheating you, right? You waste your energy, right?
Chris demonstrates his internal power by having all of us squeeze in as hard as we can.
Harder. Harder. You're smiling. You got to be hurting. Harder. You're hurting. Harder. Harder. Unbelievable. No problem.
No, nothing.
Chris is proud of his students and proud that he's honoring the memory of his childhood friend, Bruce Lee.
But now, I want to carry his legend, that you can become the strongest man in the world and self-respect and self-mastery.
But Chris isn't the only local man carrying on Bruce Lee's legacy.
It's a Bruce Lee museum right in a trunk.
Well, just family items that we had through the years.
Greg Lee isn't related to Bruce, but he grew up around him when Bruce came to live with Greg's family in the East Bay in the 1960s.
So your dad and Bruce were pals.
They were each other's best friends. Unfortunately, when Bruce moved in with us, my mother had just passed away. But fortunately, Bruce was able to take care of us, so we called him Uncle Bruce and Auntie Linda, his wife.
So he really helped to raise you?
Yeah.
Bruce and Greg's father, James Lee, taught Kung Fu in the family basement, a tradition that Greg continues to this very day.
Vary your angles, and if he traps your hand or tries to trap it, wipe it off.
Now a Kung Fu master himself, Greg teaches a small group of dedicated students in his Berkeley basement the same Kung Fu that Bruce and his father taught some 30 years ago.
Show me how you would do this.
Well, you just do some simple punches or kicks. Maybe you start with a kick here, you switch and switch and switch. Then you can go to a takedown or an elbow smash. And the most effective is this leg stomp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then scrape, scrape, and then we interact with another person that maybe when I'm on here, all of a sudden you make a move at me, then I have to deal with you, too.
Man.
Because in real life, people do attack from the back.
Continuing to teach and to train in Kung Fu helps Greg keep the memory alive of his father and Bruce Lee.
I could feel their presence, and I learned quite a bit from them, and it's time to pass it on to other people. so that it can keep living on.
Although Bruce was only in the Bay Area and in the world for a short time, he left a big impression that can still be felt today in the classes taught by his fellow Kung Fu masters and those who knew him well.
And then moving off it.